back in a bit of a Western type of culture here in Hong Kong. I got my coffee and it's 4:30-ish. Off to Disneyland Hong Kong. It is a Saturday during the holidays, so I don't know how busy it's going to be. I might not even bother getting into the park if it's crazy. If I do get into the park, I am a single rider, so I might be able to fast track a couple of rides. I only have 3 priorities on there: Mystic Manor, Space Mountain, and Big Thunder Mountain Railroad are the unique attractions that I want to try out. And other than that, the rest are kind of superfluous to my interests, but hopefully I'll be able to get some of those done, and if not, we'll see what happens. I'll probably check out the souvenir shop for some people that would love some merch back home. The train is here and we're off. Unfortunately, the last train actually had the Disney markings on it, whereas this one doesn't, so I'll try to capture that maybe on the way back from the park. It's actually a good thing that I didn't get on that train, because that is the Tung Chung train. Just the Disneyland train is on the side that's facing me, that is fairly well marked with Disney paraphernalia or advertising. There's still a fair amount of people waiting for this train, so I'm not liking my luck as far as crowds are concerned. I will admit that it being 4:30, there's a lot of families getting off the train, coming back from the park, and the people getting on the train now are mostly adults. It is Saturday night, there's a light show and all that kind of stuff, so obviously it's an attraction for people to check out on their Saturday evening, or early Saturday evening, maybe before they go and do the harbor later on. That's what my plan is, so let's see if we can fit all this in one day. There's no food or drink allowed on the train, so don't bring your coffee on the train like I did and get caught out. So here we are, park number 4. Disney Resort, Hong Kong. As I said, I only have 3 hours, so it's going to be kind of a whirlwind trip in here. We're going to see what's going on. There is a lot of people leaving, so I probably will be able to get some of what I wish to get covered. There's only 3 rides I'm here to ride. I'm pretty sure in 3 hours I should be able to accomplish that. It being a single rider situation, I hope that is the case. And it being a little bit later as well. As you'll notice, there's a lot of people leaving the park right now. Let's go into Disney, number 2, and this will be, let's just keep count here. 1, so it's the Magic Kingdom, Epcot, Animal Kingdom, Disney Hollywood Studios, Disneyland Paris, Disney Hollywood Studios in Paris. Its name I can't really remember. I don't think that's its actual name. That's 6, plus now Shanghai Disney. That's 7, and now my 8th Disney park. 8th of the 12 in the world, Disney Hong Kong. I wasn't actually planning on coming to this park during this trip because I wasn't sure I'd be able to fit it in. So 3 hours and a bit to 3.5 hours to check out the park, which I think would be a considerable amount of time. I'm not really going to do many of the dark ride attractions, especially if they're like Shanghai, where the lineups were just ridiculous, and I can just walk on almost to the bigger attractions. We'll see what the subtle differences are maybe between this park and Shanghai. I don't really expect much of a difference, but at the same time, I've been hearing that this park is relatively small. And just coming into the main entrance plaza, I can see that it is a bit more compact. It seems I'm always welcomed to Disney with a parade that's happening just as I get into the entrance, and today is no exception, as there is one occurring right now. Is there a way around this parade? I'm not so sure. I'm going to try to get to the back of the park, since there's a lot of people leaving right now. I'll probably be able to get into some of the attractions easier back there. All right, so let the battle begin. Kind of a similar main street to what you get in the States. It's very, very pristine and clean, however. I will give it that. The first thing I'm actually noticing right now is how ridiculously short the castle is. It's miniature. It's obviously going through a transformation right now, but it is barely like 2.5 stories to 3 stories high. I can barely see it over this stage in the background. It is that tiny. It is definitely due for an upgrade, considering the one in Shanghai is just like pretty much a real castle compared to what they got going on here. Not really sure what they have planned, but it can only go up and up. There's also cranes in the background as well, which obviously is for the new section of the park that there's a lot to say about, but I don't have the time here, and there's plenty of people that have covered that obviously in other vlogs. So let's hop to it and get to some rides.
Grizzly, mine cars, experience, etc., whatever it is called. It is a front and backwards coaster. It's also the most recent incarnation of this ride. Apparently it is not as good as the Paris version. I'm gonna move on now since I want to get on the ride.
Thank you, Captain. And over here we have the good Mr. Cutwell. He runs the farm over the mine and he loves our lucky bears.
So big Grizzly Runaway Mine Cars, which is a tongue twister of a title. It's right behind me. It's a 45-minute wait currently, which isn't too bad considering. It doesn't look like there's a fast pass option, unfortunately. Looks like you can purchase fast pass for this one, but you can't actually get the complimentary fast pass. I'm going off now because Mystic Manor is just over here. I'll probably start my day with Mystic Manor. And I'm gonna go to washroom first. So back to the bathhouse and then Mystic Manor. So we've arrived at Mystic Manor. I'm going to do this ride a little later since it's an indoor ride and there's only a little bit light left, so it probably makes sense to do Big Thunder Mountain Mine, Runaway, Rail Car, Action, Adventure, whatever it's called, first, because it'll be my last chance to do it during the day. At the same time, I'll probably get more than 1 or 2 rides in on each of the 3 attractions that I want to get today. I'm pretty confident I will, because there's only a 45-minute wait for this ride, as there is probably only a 45-minute wait for every major attraction in the park. And since it's getting closer to the end of the night, I will probably have the opportunity to get the more rides in as the park gets a little slower later on. That being said, there is a light show later on, so people will probably stay into the park to capture that. So hopefully it will clear out a bit, but let's give it a go. So first ride of the day is coming up. It's the Big Thunder Mountain Runaway Mine Car Action Rail Network, etc., etc. To be honest with you, what I heard is true. This park is pretty tiny. In fact, it is got to be one of the smallest parks that I've been to. It's comparable to like something like a Blackpool Pleasure Beach in the sense that I can get from Tomorrowland across Fantasyland, which is on the back end of the park, as is usually the traditional way of setting it up. And then I'm suddenly in Adventureland. I basically just crossed 3 different zones in less than a minute, and now I'm in Adventureland. So let's see what I can do about getting a fast pass here. If I can get one in time, hopefully a little earlier than my one for Hyperspace Mountain, then we'll be off to a pretty good day here on a Saturday during the holidays at Hong Kong Disneyland. A little shortcut left of the castle through the storybook shop and you're in Fantasyland, which gets you around Adventure Island or Adventureland. It's Small World's right behind me. Not doing that. I actually can't stand that ride. It's the stuff of nightmares to me. So I certainly will not miss that line or care about missing that attraction. It is kind of busy today, so yeah, it's gonna be a bit of a battle to get on things, it looks like. As opposed to my experiences at Disneyland Paris and Shanghai, the stroller armada is out in full force in this park. It's to be expected, but it's also a Saturday. But yeah, things are moving a little bit slower than I would like, but we'll get there in the end. I don't actually have a map on me, so I don't even know where I'm headed, but we're just gonna go with it. We're going in the opposite direction of most of the traffic here, which means either a show just let out or everyone is now leaving the park on their way home. Alright, so here we are, we're just about to get on, and it's been only 26 minutes. It was posted at 45-minute wait time, so that's pretty good. There is is no single rider situation here today, so but the operations has been great. I haven't even gone on a ride, but yeah, within a 20-minute shave off of the waiting time is pretty good to me. Just want to ride. To be honest with you, with the reactions to the people on the ride, I don't expect a very intense experience, but I could be proven wrong. Will it beat Big Thunder Mountain Railroad in Disneyland Paris? I doubt it, but stay tuned. So yes, no portion of this ride is really above like 40 feet, it looks like. We've got some interesting features there. Lots of track work, baby. Lift hill number 2. Not sure what to expect from this one. Where are we going? There you have it. Little tear action, but pretty solid ride there.
Woo! That sure was a wild ride. Whoa! 这真是一场狂野之旅啊！
Alright, so that's Big Grizzly Mountain Runaway Mine Cars, because it's got an exclamation mark at the end of the title. Pretty short, to be honest with you. Definitely probably the least intense and probably the least exciting of the Runaway Mine Train versions that they have. The line is actually shortened up quite a lot, so I'm just going to go right back on. Just gonna go right back on and try it again. They're really into their bears in this theming, to be honest with you. They really like the Grizzly theming, obviously. Yeah, the park is definitely slowing down a bit, so I'm gonna basically cut the 26-minute time in half, it looks like, with the way that the queue is going. Again, I'm about to get on Big Thunder Mountain Grizzly Shamalama-Danga Bing Bong Mine Train, and it's taken about half the time in the queue to get to this point. It's actually 20 after 6, and I'm now actually getting on to my second ride, but the lineup behind me's gotten even shorter, so I might go on for a third ride after this and then get on to this again. So that would be ride number 2 done on Big Thunder Mountain Mine Cars, or Big Thunder Mountain Grizzly Mine Cars. I hate that title, like, to be honest with you. It's just a 6-word title, like, it's a little intense.
much like the coaster isn't, to be honest. It is a pretty tame ride. I just had the 8th car close to the back. The lineup is now getting even shorter, so by the time that I ride Mystic Manor for the first time and come back, it'll probably be a walk-on. So I'm gonna get a lot of rides on that. Don't know what Hyperspace Mountain's at, because it's obviously at the other side of the park, but if this is any indication, in these last 2 hours the park is open, I should get a lot of rides in. But now it is time for the ride that is the centerpiece of the park for many people, Mystic Manor. Pretty excited about this ride. It's got a lot of hype behind it. To be honest, it's really got a legendary status as far as dark rides is concerned, and I'm a big fan of dark rides. Here we are, Mystic Manor lobby. I didn't actually look at the time when I got here, so I think it's about a 10-minute wait to get on the ride. The overall decorum to get in here is not much to behold, to be honest with you, especially from a Disney standpoint. It looks pretty straightforward and tame. If I'm gonna guess the time right here, I can already hear the turnstile ahead, so I think that we're at a 10-minute queue. So a little tip for this park, I don't know if it's consistent always, but it looks like if you get here later, you're gonna be able to take advantage, especially during a time like the holiday season, like I'm here now in December. It gets dark early, so you get dark rides on, say Big Thunder Mountain Mine, Big Thunder Grizzly Mine, whatever it's called. So that ride is definitely a dark ride, as I didn't mention earlier. It's very, very unique as far as like the rock structures and how they're lit up. So definitely worth it at night over day, I would say. So if you do get the chance, make sure you stay in the park and ride it at night. I'm definitely going to ride it again just to have that experience. Also, people have their cell phones and stuff, so you get a little bit more of a light show when you ride it in the dark. But we're getting into Mystic Manor now, and let's see what this is all about. Is now half since I've actually got into the queue. So it looks like we're going to be getting a couple rides on this ride too. Now I have to actually prioritize what we do, because I could get some of the other attractions in. Unfortunately, I didn't get a park map when I came in, so I'm going to have to rely on my instinct for what I actually want to do here. Maybe I'll just go along the way and see what I can pick up. I wouldn't mind doing Tom Sawyer's or Swiss Family Robinson's Treehouse, because that's one of the attractions I always usually like to try out here at Disney parks, because I just like mazes, I like the ornate nature of how they're put together. So yeah, it's nighttime too, so it might be a unique experience to do at night. So let's see what we can fit in here on our day at Disney.
Welcome to Mystic Manor. 歡迎大家嚟到迷你大宅 home to a world-class collection of art, antiquities, and my personal residence. I am Lord Henry Mystic. The young fellow at my side is Albert, my traveling companion, confidant, and rather mischievous partner. Yes, Albert, that's you. Now run along. Ah, well. For several years now, Albert and I have traveled the world in search of rare and precious artifacts for you to enjoy as you tour our home in Mystic Manor.
A lot of hype behind this ride, so I'm expecting big things. It is a trackless dark ride, which is much different than, say, the other haunted houses in Disney. Just a reminder, the sign outside said you should be sober and in good health. So, fortunately, I am in both of those situations.
second ride on Mystic Manor, second ride without a camera, so that way I could appreciate it a little bit more. And it was actually much better the second time when I took in a lot more details. And it was in the first car right at the front, so I got the first hit of like some of the effects, like the China room especially. I'm in Toy Story Land now, trying to get on RC Racer. I had no luck with this in Shanghai. The wait for it was ridiculous, so we'll see how the wait is here. But yeah, Mystic Manor, really good. I have a new appreciation for Symbolica at Efteling because it's a very similar style of ride, at least in the concept in that. Definitely, the ride system is a little bit more refined here at the Disney experience, but overall it's a good ride. Some of the effects versus the haunted house or the haunted mansions, I'm not so sure like whether or not this new modern version is really the as impressive overall as far as its scale and scope, but certainly an impressive ride. Would I say it's the best dark ride in the world? Certainly not, but it does have some elements of it that are quite unique. I'm trying to find the entrance to RC Racer. I'm on my way there now. It's looking pretty good, so let's do an RC. Had two rides on RC Racer in a row there, and I gotta say, it's really like one of the best rides that you can get at Disney if you're into thrills. It's definitely worth a 20-minute wait. It's very short, but it packs a lot of stomach punch at the end of the day, and a nice short little thrill. Disney's not really known for their thrill rides, but when it comes to thrill rides, this is definitely one of the best ones. So I'm glad I got it in, because that's an extra credit technically, and yeah, so now we're up to 15 on the tour. We're gonna move on back. I've already had two rides at Mystic Manor, as I said. I'm gonna try to get another ride on Big Thunder Mountain, Grizzly Mine Train, Railroad, Shimmanamana, whatever it's called. Ride number 3. I'm gonna make my way to Hyperspace Mountain on the other side of the park. Try to get 3 rides in on that, and then maybe 1 Iron Man experience before I have to leave the park. So we're doing pretty well here. I'm on the Jungle River Cruise. It's like 5 to 8. I'm gonna go over to Tomorrowland and get my Hyperspace Mountain rides in. But I figured I might as well give it maybe a try since it's a walk-on. And it is one of the legendary rides. I'm curious to see how this version plays out. I don't know too much about it, so yeah, let's see what it's about. My cruise is gonna be in Cantonese because it's the end of the day basically, so it's gonna be a unique take on the whole idea. I obviously won't be able to get much of the humor involved in the cruise, but it's going to be a refreshing take on a classic ride.
係啦，咁呢邊都要坐嘅喎，要幫我平衡架船嘅喎。係咁樣咁有收入破底之類㗎啦。好，坐好，我哋出發啦，同碼頭朋友仔講聲拜拜，拜拜。
Bye bye. And we're off just like that. They don't mess around. We're going.
B B 啊，麻煩咧教緊 B B 用佢鼻仔去吸水噴水，吸水噴水。另外一邊咧就係象哥哥，係啊，象哥哥佢沖緊涼啊，佢又沖涼啊。
Camera warning。
爸爸啦，係啊，好聰明啊，象爸爸。係咯，象爸爸綁住咗我哋條路，我哋本身要行左手邊㗎，但係冇辦法啦，佢喺中間我哋行咗過去，咁唔緊要啦，我哋依家入森林入面去探險啦，係望住側邊先，見唔見到好大隻蜘蛛啊？我呢度都有一條㗎，冇睇落眼咯。啲眼鏡蛇呢個樣咧好似好惡咁啊，但係咧其實咧啲眼鏡蛇冇戴眼鏡見唔到我哋嘅，唔使擔心啊。好啦，前面咧會好會睇㗎嘛，係咪？歡迎大家。 哋出嚟參添，即係參添水，但係咧佢哋唔聽話，掉咗落水喎，所以咧依家俾溪牛吹到屁股開花啦。我係唔會救佢哋嘅，因為咧佢哋唔聽話啊嘛，所以咧。應該入嚟㗎，課程會好嬲㗎。哎呀，小心啦，咁多位朋友仔。係啊，課程要發脾氣啊，冇老手啊。冇事啊，嗬！冇事啊，好啦，我哋已經成功探險啦。望下先，呢個係邊個等緊我哋啊？
All right, so Jungle River Cruise is done. To be honest, that was definitely impressive at night. As you can see by the the finale, that's definitely a night ride as well if you can do it. Because as you can see by that finale, it was pretty phenomenal. Quite an effects show. I was in Cantonese, but at the same time, I pretty much understood what was going on there. Final ride of the day, and I also have to get some merch, so it's going to be kind of a whirlwind tour out of here. I'm going to pretty much skip Ironman and go straight to 3 rides in a row if I can manage it on Hyperspace Mountain. And then after that, going back to downtown Hong Kong. Here we go, ride number 16, Hyperspace Mountain. Hoping to get 3 rides in. Stay tuned. We'll see how this goes. Wait time is saying 10 minutes currently. So I'm liking my chances because their estimates have been a little bit over the actual times all day. This is also my first Star Wars themed Space Mountain attraction because I didn't make it to the Disneyland Paris version. Here we go.
From opening our closing specials, I thank the jump to hyperspace. The 7-7 Squadron will provide support during the... 最7号准备就绪，跟上 Iris。
全部今天开始整个气空感。
This is going to be ride number 2 on Hyperspace Mountain. To be honest with you, it probably is going to be the last. It's a good ride, but it's not really worth doing 3 to 4 rides, I think. It's pretty much, other than the 3 lift hill system, it's pretty much a standard Space Mountain idea. It's kind of interesting to see that towards the end of the ride, it does pick up a lot of speed, so the very last quarter is kind of the best part. The rest of it is kind of tame and just meanders side to side. Not so sure about the projections as well because it kind of lightens up the room somewhat, so you can't really see where you can see where you're going, to be honest. Whereas in regular Space Mountains, the complete darkness and the star clusters that they use, at least in the older versions, where I prefer. You're going to get some spooky lighting here from me. Also to note, the Fast Pass just basically fed me out to the loading area, so if the line is already past the loading area, cut off, there's no point in using the Fast Pass because it basically is just going to take you to the same spot if you went from the other line. No big deal, it's all good. I'll get my 2 rides in. So that's it, Hyperspace Mountain is done.
It's a pretty solid ride. It is a space mountain. Like, it is what it is. The effects are kind of little, considering it was an update just recently. The effects are a little bit tame, to be honest with you. I'm going to miss the Iron Man experience because I do have to get back. So yeah, even though this park is pretty small, it's going to take a bit of time to get to the train, and then I got to go all the way back to Kowloon. And I kind of presumed that I could time that as a 15-minute ride, but I think it's going to be more like a half an hour to get back, especially since I have to weed through all the young folks that are here. But yeah, overall experience, pretty solid park, very compact. So you can get everything done really quickly if you are basically, the average visit time here apparently is 4 hours, and I can see that because they don't really have enough attractions if it's a slow day to keep you here all day, unless you're doing the theater and that. So something to bear in mind if you're here for the thrills over the overall experience. The overall experience, I'd say, yeah, you probably need 2 days if you're going to do absolutely everything. Right then, that's Hong Kong Disney done. That's the 8th park done. It's about to rain, so I'm not catching the parade. I also have to get back to town. So I will say, though, that getting into this park, even though Shanghai was very easy, the security here is not as intense as it is at any Disney park, to be honest with you. They do have fingerprinting and that, but they didn't bother with that today. They just basically sold the ticket, ushered me in like I was going to the park in the 90s. It was a little bit refreshing, to be honest. I am kind of rushing to get out of here because I do have to get back downtown, and I'm going to be killed once I get there. So off to dinner in Hong Kong, and we'll see you at the next park.